And a very good evening to you. Welcome to TV47. This is the weekend edition. My name is Shiksha Arora. Of course, I will be entertaining as well as educating and informing you on the latest with what's happening in the country. Back to school rush is officially here. Tomorrow, schools reopen for the first day of schooling, of education in 2025. How will the year pan out? Well, only time will tell. But as of now, we do know that tomorrow is going to be quite a busy one for students, for parents alike, as well as motorists who will be on their way to taking their children to school, and of course just making sure, trying to get to wherever you are. It might be a bit difficult, a tad bit cumbersome, but you know what, we will be here to tell you what's happening on the roads as well. So for now, all you have to do is just enjoy this live broadcast as we keep you informed and up to speed with the happenings in the country. My name is Shiksha Arora. The sign language interpreter is Rhoda Nyamai. First things first, let's take a look at tonight's highlights. Top on Weekend Edition. Bookshops and school uniform stores were over the weekend packed with people as parents made final preparations to send their children back to school on Monday.
Vitabu ndia kuna from the publishers. Know that vitabu zilichenjiwa. Vitabu nao pia venye zimechenjiwa zenye ziko pia zinakuja na bei ya juu. Customers wanalalamika.
And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is now calling on the International Criminal Court, that's ICC, to investigate allegations that the government is funding a criminal gang.
So Bwana Kagusha get a team of lawyers to write to the ICC to invite them to come to Kenya and make sure that the activities of that criminal gang sponsored by government is not allowed to take place.
Also, tonight, we bring to you an exclusive interview with Martha Karua, the Azimio presidential running mate in the 2022 general election. Welcome to this live broadcast. Right, let us know where you're watching from at TV47 Kenya. That is where you'll find us on social media at Shiksha Arora. And do let us know where you're tuned in from this evening. For now, our top story tonight, bookshops and uniform stores are buzzing as parents rush to get their kids ready for the new school term starting Monday. Now, many parents say that they are struggling to find the necessary textbooks, and that is, of course, blaming shortages in stores. Booksellers, on the other hand, point to delays in deliveries from publishers as the root of the problem. Andreen Kilemi kickstarts our bulletin tonight.
On Sunday, parents scrambled to find textbooks and school uniforms as students prepared for back to school Monday.
I came here to get uniform. I'm so excited to go to school.
And while the young ones are excited about joining school, their parents, on the other hand, are grappling with the rising cost of living. Many are voicing concerns over the increased bus fares, while others lament the soaring prices of everyday goods in stores.
Trouser yenye tulikuwa tunanunua 650, sasa imeenda hadi 1250. Shati yenye tulikuwa tunanunua 550, sasa tunanunua 850.
What is even more irritating for parents is the lack of textbooks in bookshops. The usual back-to-school rush has turned into a frustrating game of patience.
I've walked all over the bookshops right from last week to look for books which are not there.
Vitabu kama simulizi za utotoni, sauti fifi, mulohazi, sasa hizo ni za grade 8 ambazo zenye watoto wameandikiwa na nimeshinda nikizunguka kuzitafuta na sijapata. Nimepita kama bookshop 5 bado sijapata.
Kwa sababu sasa tunakimbia hapa na pale kutafuta vitabu na hakuna. Hiyo ni waste time.
Booksellers say the book shortage witnessed is as a result of delays from publishers, leaving shelves bare and parents frustrated.
Vitabu ndia kuna from the publishers. Know that vitabu zilichenjiwa. Vitabu nao pia venye zimechenjiwa zenye ziko pia zinakuja na bei ya juu. Customers wanalalamika.
The Juakali sector traders have also been severely impacted as they face a significant setback as there are no students joining Form 1 this year.
Hii stock tumeunda mingi, tumeweka kando, lakini sasa tutauzia nani? Hii vitu huwezi weka kwa sufuria upike ukule. my friend.
Sasa tungekuwa tumeshapewa ma orders na shule form 1 tutengeneze maybe uniforms fulani in bulky, tuseme games kits in bulky.
This year marks a significant shift in the country's education system, with no Form 1 intake in 39 years. This change comes with the phasing out of the 844 system, with those previously in grade 8 now expected to join grade 9. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
Now, still on matters education, the Kenya National Examinations Council, that's SIGNET, will release results for the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, that's KPSEA, on Monday. Now, of course, CS Julius Migos says the grade 6 evaluation is a crucial part of the competency-based curriculum and marks a key step in learners' transition to junior secondary school. Meanwhile, Migos has confirmed that KCSE results will be out within the first 2 weeks of January. All right, now President William Ruto has directed the reopening of 13 schools in Kerio Valley before the end of the month, declaring the area safe, that is after years of unrest. Now, he praised local leaders and former security officials for their efforts to bring peace to the region. As Paul Kirobi now reports, some of Ruto's allies have also called for action against those that they claim are undermining the government. Take a look.
Residents living along the borders of the Kerio Valley regions prone to banditry can now breathe a sigh of relief as the long-standing insecurity that has threatened the education sector for years begins to subside. On Sunday, President William Ruto commended the efforts of his government and various stakeholders who have worked tirelessly to restore peace in the area. Speaking during an interdenominational prayer service in Tot, the president announced that 13 schools will be reopened before the end of the month.
Haya mashule 13 ambayo yajafunguliwa. Kwanza number 1, huyu waziri wetu wa interior na mwenzake wa special programs ambaye ni dada yetu a school watashirikiana. Hiyo mashule nimeambiwa na waheshimiwa hapa ambayo tayari tumeshatengeneza shule, lakini wananchi walikuwa wamehamia sehemu nyingine.
In addition, the president directed the Ministry of Energy to ensure that electricity connectivity is established in the region as part of efforts to curb insecurity. He reassured local leaders of his government's commitment to promoting development in the bandit-prone areas, emphasizing that this will greatly improve the overall outlook of Kerio Valley.
Tungeomba Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa niaba ya wale nataka niombe kwamba kupitia special programs wale waweze kupewa mabati ili warudi waanze kujenga manyumba yao upya.
During the prayer service, tensions surfaced regarding the politics of abductions. A group of President Ruto's supporters led by TRT MP William Kamket called on the president to take action against former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and other leaders opposing his government.
Sasa hiyo group, wacha niwaambie, we have no time for you. Kenyans have no time for you. Na rais, usiogope. Hiyo watu wakileta ya kisirani kamata. Kwani iko nini? Watafanya nini? Wangenipatia hiyo docket hiyo ya usalama siku 3 peke yake. Hiyo watoto na ujinga hiyo ya kuchora vitu kwa maneno itaisha. Kwa sababu lazima tu hakuna inji inaongozwa na upuzi.
In his address, the president reassured Kenyans that the country's economy has already stabilized and that the remaining focus is on advancing development. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Meanwhile, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on MPs led by Mukurweini's John Kagusha to assemble a team of top lawyers to petition the ICC. Now, he claims the government is sponsoring a criminal gang responsible for terrorizing citizens and committing crimes against humanity. George Mariga now reports.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has continued with his onslaught against the government, this time dropping another bombshell.
That gang, na huyo kiongozi wa hiyo gang alikuwa kijana mdogo then, kaitwa na Moi akaambiwa aude hiyo kikundi. Is the same leader alikuwa hapa on 31st. Same. That gang, father, descended on the people of this region with brutal efficiency. They beheaded people, circumcised our women.
Gachagua is now alleging that a criminal gang that in the past has been a thorn in the flesh of the mountain region has been reactivated by the government machinery.
Years later, history is repeating itself. Government has been managing the economy. It has become unpopular. People have started saying no. The same gang leader ametafutwa na serikali na ameletwa hapa to force the people of this region to accept the president and his deputy. Wamekuja hapa 31st. Huyo kiongozi ametangaza mchana that amepewa kazi na serikali ya kuzunguka katika mlima Kenya to force the people to accept the president and his deputy.
He is now calling on the International Criminal Court ICC to commence investigations immediately.
That the ICC should not wait until crimes against humanity have been committed. This gang is known to have committed crimes against humanity. Now, with the sponsorship of government, they have come back.
Hili jambo ingine ambayo inafanyika ya kuteka nyara vijana wetu. Tulimsikia rais mwenyewe akisema hiyo kitu iko na itakoma. Alafu walipoenda pale Bungoma, Mheshimiwa Ichung'wa with no shame anasema Rigathi ndiye anafanya utekaji nyara.
Wale ambao wamekosea, sababu tumeweka sheria za kutosha. Kama mtu amekosea, ashikwe, apelekwe kotini, aandikishiwe mashtaka, lakini asikosekane.
George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki took a hard stance during a Sunday service in Embu, criticizing locals who heckled President Ruto's representative at a recent event. Speaking at a Thanksgiving event in Mbeere North, Kindiki emphasized the government's focus on uniting the nation and dismissed claims of divisions within the Kenya Kwanza administration. Other leaders present also hit back at former DP Rigathi Gachagua for his recent remarks about abductions. Take a look.
It was a church service come political podium.
Tunataka tutoe ilani ya Your Excellency, pole tuko kwa kanisa na wewe ni mpole, lakini Rigathi Gachagua mjumbe wake ameenda, nilikuwa ni mtume, asiingie Mbeere North tena kuja kutapika matope hapa.
Amuliamuka vizuri na akili yenu timamu mkatuchagulia Mundiki. Si mimi nikachaguliwa kule mwingine. Lakini tunaelewa hiyo kiongozi, sababu healing stage mtu akiwa amepata shida iko na stages, kuna denial nini ndio ufika acceptance.
Ule ambaye amezoea kutusi watu, vile ndugu yangu Kiboreka amesema, sasa amefika ile wakati, unajua hata ukipigwa ngumi kuna ile kitu inaitwa acceptance stage.
Kama wewe uko na hasira zako na mambo ya visirani, usituletee visirani yako. Please, na tuheshimiane. I repeat, tuheshimiane. Mimi heshima zote nimekupatia, but you must also respect me. Kwa sababu mimi naona mahali tunaendelea kuna mahali tunataka kufika.
While at a Thanksgiving event held at Mbeere North in Embu County on Sunday, Professor Abraham Kindiki Kithure joined faithfuls for Sunday service, but as is the norm with politicians, the holy ground was turned a political ground. Defiant of the biblical rule that where one or two are gathered for the word, the ground is sacred, the DP and his foot soldiers appeared to be on a mission counter-attack.
Alafu unachemusha raia, unawachochea, unawaweka mori, unawaweka hasira na hauna solution. The work of a leader is to listen to the needs of the people and generate the solutions.
Responding to the former Deputy President's direct attack on Mbeere North, a Member of Parliament, over his silence on the cases of abductions reported in the country, the second in command also had a message to Embu residents who refused the President's speech to be read to them during the burial of the son of Leni Kivutis on Friday.
Tuachane na siasa ya kupigia viongozi makelele. That is wrong, brothers and sisters. It is not right.
Anaitwa Roko. Sasa mtu mwingine anakuja kunitukana hapa. Unajua, lakini sitaki kuharibu nafasi.
The Deputy President urging the public not to be deceived by politicians who have little or no vision for the country. Kindiki, while calling out the critics of the Kenya Kwanza-led regime, noted that the government is coherent and very stable, reiterating the government's commitment to deliver on its promises to Kenyans.
Msipige kelele, wewe muitishe mambo yake ile ya CDF, ya basari, ya nini. Kama umeamua hautamchagua, your time will come. Because there is a difference between leadership and populism.
Once again addressing claims of a fallout with his boss, Kindiki stated that his absence from national public events was due to a brief holiday.
Nimerudi kwa katika ile kazi ambayo sasa nimepewa. Likizo yangu ilikuwa ya siku 15 hivyo, imeisha.
Kindiki has in the recent past missed high-profile events, including President Ruto's New Year's Eve address in Kisii County, the Pinluo Cultural Festival in Siaya, and the burial of Speaker Moses Wetangula's mother. For TV47, I'm Linda Alela.
Now, a senior IEBC official from Kilifi County, that is, of course, Aisha, has recently passed away tragically following a brutal attack by two men who broke into her house early this morning. The incident occurred at around 3 a.m. in Kisauni, Mombasa County. Aisha was left in critical condition after being stabbed in the head and succumbed to her injuries while receiving treatment at the hospital. Her 18-year-old son was also injured in the attack and is currently receiving medical care. Police have launched investigations into the heinous crime. Take a look.
As the nation eagerly waits for the formation of IEBC, it's been a blow to the family of the IEBC acting manager in Kilifi County, who was rushed here to Premier Hospital in Nyali after being seriously injured but passed away shortly after arriving.
These guys just wanted kumaliza mamangu, which they've achieved. So
two criminals reportedly attacked her home in Utangi Mkunguni area within the Kisauni constituency, where they gained access in the house after cutting these window grills, leaving her with serious injuries, along with her 18-year-old son, who, despite being injured, made an effort to take his mother to the hospital after this horrific incident. The thieves are said to have stolen household items, including the deceased phone, a television, and other belongings before fleeing.
Na kuna mkoba wa IEBC wamerarua, wamechukua vitu zile zenye ziko pale ndani, wakawacha ile mkoba pale chini. Hawakuchukua tena kitu kingine zaidi.
Local political leaders have strongly condemned the killings and are now calling for an expedited investigation.
Vitengo vyote vya usalama, DCI, polisi wa kawaida, intelligence, waingie pale ndani ili kusudi lazima ili jambo tumalize.
In a statement to the media, the police commander of Mombasa County, Peter Kimani, expressed condolences to the family and promised a thorough investigation, saying, and I quote, "We cannot reveal a lot now because we have the family mourning, but we shall give a detailed report later once we complete the investigation and agree with the family. Meanwhile, we shall enhance security patrols as a deterrent measure."
Quite the loss, especially in the community when it comes to the public servant. That's her name, Aisha, who just passed away. Here at TV47, condolences to the entire family, and of course, may her soul rest in peace. Now moving on to another story where the National Police Service has dismissed reports suggesting that Ibrahim Hilal Muiti, whose body was discovered at the Thika Level 5 hospital mortuary, had been abducted. The 24-year-old was reported missing in November 2024, sparking speculation and concern among the public. In a statement, police clarified that Ibrahim was not an activist, as alleged by some sources, and have issued a warning to the public against spreading misinformation. Now, despite the controversies surrounding his death, Ibrahim was laid to rest on January 3rd at Langata Cemetery. Investigations into the circumstances of his disappearance and subsequent death remain ongoing.
Ibrahim Hilal Muiti was reported missing by his mother on the 15th of November 2024. He is said to have been last seen alive on the 11th of November 2024. His body would later be found at the Thika Level 5 mortuary on the 2nd of January this year. And so the contention has been rife on who killed Muiti and why. Earlier reports indicated that Ibrahim had been an activist prior to his disappearance, and his disappearance too was attributed to an alleged abduction. Ibrahim's disappearance happening at a time when there were numerous cases of abduction following the anti-government protest in June 2024. The police, however, have refuted these claims of abduction, saying Muiti was killed in a hit-and-run accident and that the Juja Traffic Police discovered his body on November 12th past midnight after being fatally hit by a vehicle while riding a motorcycle at Spa Mall area along the Thika Superhighway. The police say due to lack of identification documents at the accident scene, Ibrahim's body was preserved at the General Cargo Mortuary pending results from fingerprints submitted to the National Registration Bureau. Also, they have refuted claims of Ibrahim being an activist, saying that as per his mother's statement to the DCI, Ibrahim was not an activist. Similarly, the family of Ian Singoe, who was found dead in Mwiki, says preliminary post-mortem indicates he drowned, condemning reports linking his death to police abduction. Over the recent days, the police have been on the spotlight over the disappearance of government critics who were allegedly abducted. 6 young men, Billy Mwangi, Gideon Kibet, Ronnie Kiplanget, Bernard Kavuli, Peter Muteti and Steve Kavingo still remain missing. This as KNCHR and LSK continue to demand for the release or arraignment of the missing youth. Sheila Chelanget for TV47.
Now, the Government Delivery Unit, that's GDU, has appointed a team of prominent communication and branding specialists to enhance government performance and delivery. Eliud Owalo, the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of performance and delivery management, has enlisted the experts to improve communication and stakeholder engagement across government. Dr. Carol Mandi, a seasoned strategic communications advisor and publisher, will lead the team. She is expected to bring extensive experience in strategic communications and government advisory roles. Joining her is Ms. Archie Achieng Ojani Alai, a branding expert with a background in tourism and advertising. She will oversee branding and marketing initiatives. Also part of the team is Boniface Odinga, a former KTN reporter who will focus on media relations and communication strategies, and that is alongside Patrick Amimo, a former Standard Group bureau chief who will manage media communication. We also have in the team, that is Miss Wamboi Ngayu, an advertising and branding specialist who will contribute to branding strategies, and Alois Obare, a product development and branding expert who will focus on enhancing government initiatives.
For Manchester United. Elliott takes it quickly to Bradley. Alexis McAllister. Ryan Gravenberg.
Now, a tragic incident unfolded in Kerwa Village, Kikuyu constituency, Kiambu County, where 29-year-old Peter Kigwa was stabbed to death by his lover, Grace Washeke. The shocking event has left the local community in disbelief. The suspect, Grace, is now in police custody after surrendering herself at Kerwa police station shortly after the incident. Peter's body was moved to the Tigoni Hospital mortuary as investigations into the circumstances that surround this fatal altercation continue. Anastasia Mukabi now brings us more details.
A somber mood has engulfed Kerwa Village in Kiambu County after Peter Kigwa was stabbed to death by his lover Grace Washeke. After the incident, the 28-year-old woman surrendered herself at Kerwa police station and directed the police to where the body of Peter was. Kerwa Assistant Chief Bernard Waweru confirmed the incident and assured the residents that the suspect remains in custody as the Kikuyu police station detectives continue with their investigations.
Msichana amedunga mwenzake, rafiki yake, usiku wa manane, na hiyo ripoti imeripotiwa Kerwa police station, na suspect mwenye msichana mdogo anaitwa Grace alienda karipoti kitu masaa ya saa 1 asubuhi, na ndio maana tumepata ripoti tukakuja kuangalia scene na tumepata kweli hiyo kitendo ilifanyika.
The agitated residents called on security agencies to look into strangers who move into the area due to the rise of such incidents carried out by non-natives within.
Watu wale wanaajiliwa huku na watu wanamakaa huku, hatujui ni gani na utukuzifu fulani. Nasema administration yetu igwe inafanya kazi.
The body of the deceased was taken to Tigoni Hospital mortuary, awaiting for post-mortem. Anastasia Mkabe,